Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. The country records yet another quadruple murder. Millions of dollars earmarked for infrastructural developments in Trelawney. And later in sports, Reggae Boys squad hit by late withdrawals. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here are the details. The community of Duanvale in Trelawney was rocked by a quadruple murder Monday night. The 4 children who were at home at the time of the incident were unharmed. The details in this report. Bullet holes pierced this 2-story house in Duanvale, Trelawney Monday night, where a gruesome tragedy unfolded. The police have identified the 2 women and 2 men who were killed. The victims are 51-year-old Cordell Graham, 43-year-old Nicole White, 21-year-old Amelia Livingston, and 27-year-old Akeem Robinson. The victims were found with bullet wounds at a house on Mountain Street at about 10 o'clock. Residents reportedly heard the explosions and called the police. It's reported that armed men entered the upstairs section of the house via a staircase to the front of the building. The men then opened fire on the victims. They were shot in the head. 4 children who were in a back room were unharmed. Residents are in disbelief.
I don't sleep until now.
It's the first one that this happened here?
First thing like this happened here. Things similar, but not this way. This is more dangerous. Sad, dangerous things happen in this community.
So you know the person that killed?
Yes, I'm a cousin.
One of your cousin?
Yes.
So how do you feel about your cousin?
I feel bad. That's why I stay up for last night until now. I don't get to sleep until now yet. And I don't reach back on my home yet.
Family and friends are hoping the attackers will be nabbed.
So we have to just take it up and just go on like how we can go on. And just sing, ask God to intervene in the matter and do what only He alone can do. Because He is the mighty man of war.
The police are asking anyone with information to contact Commanding Officer for the Area 1 Major Investigation Division, Deputy Superintendent Dwayne Dixon, at 876-418-6330, Police 119 emergency number, or Crime Stop at 311. Meanwhile, there was a double murder in the St. Catherine North Police Division this morning. It's understood that explosions were heard along Young Street in Spanish Town about 8:30. When the shooting subsided, 2 men were seen suffering from bullet wounds. One of the men died on the scene, while the other was transported to hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. One of the men has been identified only by his alias, Crimi. We will have more on this developing story in Primetime News at 7. 3 men have been arrested following the seizure of a firearm and several rounds of ammunition in Hurlock, St. James. Acting head of the St. James Police Superintendent Aaron Samuel says the gun and ammunition were seized Sunday during a police operation. He says the men will be questioned.
One Uzi submachine gun along with 200 assorted rounds of ammunition and a bulletproof vest was found at the location during this operation. 3 persons were taken into custody in relation to this fine. We are encouraging members of the public, when you have information about wanted men, guns, drugs, anything that is illegal, please pass on that information to the St. James Police. We are very interested in ensuring that St. James becomes a safer place for citizens to live.
Residents of Norris District in St. Thomas are angry as they have been experiencing issues with their electricity supply from July. According to the residents, the problem started after a shower of rain.
After that, we have some low current, and I've been ringing JPS since July. I think it's 7th of July. It's July, we are ringing up August, September, we are now in October.
The light post came down and the wire fall down on the mango tree, and I'm so worried that anything could happen anytime, anyhow.
The residents say despite reporting the matter to the Jamaica Public Service, the situation remains unchanged.
Every time I ring up JPS, the lady apologizes to me and says, sometimes I get messages that they will be there in 6 hours. 6 hours, nobody turn up. And this is going on for over and over the months. You can count from July to know where we are.
I'm really distressed about this condition, the light wire. Plus, I'm having low pulse rate in the house.
In the meantime, JPS says it received 2 reports from North District, both on September 27, a broken wire and low voltage for an individual. Both, JPS says, were resolved on the same day. The company further stated that it has no other reports, but it is willing to investigate the matter with urgency to find a solution. Millions of dollars have been earmarked for infrastructural developments in northern Trelawney. Local government minister Desmond McKenzie made the declaration following a tour of the constituency recently. Details in this report.
As the country continues to battle a dengue outbreak, at least one parish capital will see some extensive work done to drains. Local government minister Desmond McKenzie says some $6 million in emergency funds will be sent to the MP for Northern Trelawney for the works to commence. This for the resort town of Falmouth. Of note too is the urgent need for garbage collection.
We have already made arrangements for some skips to be placed at strategic location in the constituency based on the tour that we have seen, and already work have started by the National Solid Waste Management Authority to deal with the backlog.
As for other infrastructural issues within the constituency, Mr. McKenzie says those will be addressed in the medium to long term. One community which will benefit from the infrastructural improvement is Newtown. Currently, the residents are facing a triple threat of deplorable road conditions, poor or no street lights, and the electrification of the community will be addressed. However, no timeline was given.
We are committed and we are going to provide the funds to rural electrification to deal with the community of Mento. It is one of the areas that we're going to be building an indigent housing solution. We saw the history this morning and we empathize with her because of her condition and the needs for her.
Mr. McKenzie has laid the lack of infrastructure developments in the constituency on the opposition, which has held the seat for 3 decades.
Conditions that I experienced in sections of the constituency this morning begs the question to be answered. What used to happen before? The conditions, they have not deteriorated since 2020. More than 30 years of neglect.
In the meantime, MP for the constituency, Tova Hamilton, says she's awaiting approvals from the local government ministry and the Trelawney Municipal Corporation for the old Wakefield Market to be turned into a postal office. This after the original post office was closed due to its dilapidated state. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
To a TVJ News update now, all eyes are still on the Hanover to Montego Bay St. James taxi route following a protest on Monday by taxi men. They withdrew their service to protest against the poor road conditions. They complain that the road has been deteriorated over the years and is in need of urgent attention.
It's been happening on the road, often on this piece of road. If me couldn't drive, I mean, I watch my mirrors my time. My vehicle are mashed up already.
We are deliver a service, right? So you know, say we have to try to make the vehicle 100%. And this is road condition every week me personally have in that garage.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. The Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, is calling for more resources to address mental health challenges. The call comes as the globe celebrates World Mental Health Day. Our reporter, Sandy Williams, is at day one of the National Mental Health Conference and filed this report.
Today is recognized as World Mental Health Day,
And on day one of the National Mental Health Conference, the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, is urging governments to allocate financial and human resources to strengthen programs supporting mental health. Now, the 2017 Global School Health Survey for Jamaica indicated that 1 in 4 students ages 16 to 17 indicated that they seriously considered attempting suicide during the 12 months before the survey. Now, in this same age group, 1 in 5 girls indicated that they actually attempted suicide. Now, according to PAHO, there is a deficit of mental health professionals in the public sector to address these cases, and budgetary allocation to mental health programs are minimal. Now, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton admitted that there is a shortage of psychiatrists island-wide. However, he says the government has been implementing measures to fill those gaps. Now, I'll have more detail on those measures in primetime news. Reporting from the National Mental Health Conference at the Jamaica Conference Center, I'm Sandy Williams for TVJ News. It's back to you in studio. Thank you, Sandy. It's now time for the Business Minute.
Jamaica's manufacturing industry grew by 3.1% in the second quarter ended June. Statin says this was due to a 4.6% increase in production for the food, beverages, and tobacco grouping. The other manufacturing sub-industry also realized higher output as a result of increased production for non-metallic mineral products, chemicals and chemical products, as well as paper and paper products. Further afield, the United Auto Workers strike against the big three automakers is already the costliest U.S. auto strike in a century. According to an analysis by Anderson Economic Group, economic losses from the strike have exceeded $5.5 billion in its first 3 weeks. By comparison, the previous record was held by the 2019 UAW strike against General Motors, which cost $4 billion. It's estimated that the economic impact of the strike will grow as it moves forward as the strike expands to additional sites. It is the first time in the union's history that it has struck all three unionized automakers at the same time. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Shane Masters.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, a judge in Haiti has upheld an opposition politician's request for an interim injunction preventing the Kenyan government from sending police to the CARICOM country. The UN-backed mission aims to restore peace and security in Haiti. The judge says he is satisfied that the application and petition raise substantial issues of national importance and public interest requiring urgent consideration. The politician who sought the injunction argued that the deployment was unconstitutional as it was not backed by any law or treaty. On the international scene, hospitals are overwhelmed as the Israeli army continues bombardment of the Gaza Strip 4 days after Hamas sent rockets and fighters into Israel in an unprecedented attack. The Palestinian Health Ministry says the WHO has called for a humanitarian corridor to ensure the entry of urgent medical aid into Gaza's overwhelmed hospitals. 770 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza while the death toll in Israel is over 900. And at least 29 people, including children, have been killed in an artillery strike on a displaced persons camp in northeast Myanmar near the Chinese border. The camp is in an area controlled by the Kachin Independent Organization KIO, one of the several ethnic insurgent groups which have been fighting for self-rule for many decades. All the victims were civilians. It is one of the deadliest attacks in the 63-year-long conflict in Kachin state. And those are the top regional and international stories. I'm Carrie Simpson.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report with Jermaine Brown.